Hey, what's going on? We got another King Ice unboxing. Another Death Row Records necklace and a Death Row chain. And this is the 2D version. So this chain resembles the 90s Death Row Records chain that Suge Knight used to hand out. And it's the 2D version. A lot of people think, well, I have the, when I have the 3D version, that this is original. It's not. The 3D version was made recently, in recent years, but they went back to the 2D version, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean by that. Because back then, the logo didn't look like this on the chain. So it was more 2D, and the records right here at the bottom was more spread apart. So let's open this up. This is similar to the 90s version of the Death Row Records necklace, the Death Row chain. And we're going to compare it to the 3D version here, and we're also going to compare it to the one that's on me. So I'm glad they brought this back into production. This is a limited quantity, and you get a nice blue box that says Death Row Records. Loving it. Let's open that up. Here it is. This is pretty nice. You can already tell it looks pretty sweet. So let's get that off there. Let's take it off the plastic. There we go. Very nice presentation from King Ice. So very similar to the chain that Tupac was wearing. And see if we can snip that off. Give me a second here. You got your nail clipper. Perfect for cutting this. See? So very gorgeous piece. This is a unique clasp here. It's like a fold over clasp. There you go. This is a fold over clasp. So you just stick that on there. Let's take a look at this gorgeous piece from King Ice. This is maybe an 8mm Miami Cuban 20-inch or 24-inch. Might be 20-inch. And let's look at the piece itself. It says Death Row Records with a W all squished in. I guess that's how it was back then. And you got the man in the electric chair getting executed. Really not that much 3D, like compared to the 3D one, there's really not that much detail. Because that's how they did it back then. So this adheres to the 90s Death Row chain. This harkens back, yeah. As you can see, the records, like I said, the records at the bottom here is more spread out. Just like the logo. So let's compare it to the 3D version here. I have it right here. And it's a lot. It's a little bit smaller. This one's a little bit smaller than this one. So as you can see, the 3D version, all the details are there. Very 3D-like. Everything matches just like the actual logo. But the 2D version, like I said, the records at the bottom is more spread apart, just like the one from the 90s. And Here, there's more handset stones on the man getting electrocuted in the chair. Versus this one, there's stones on the death row, on the records, a little bit on the sides, and that's it. On the bail here, very similar to the 90s Death Row Records chain. Kind of a little bit like a pyramid style at the top here versus this oval shaped bail. But let's see if they're same length. The chain is the same length. I don't know if it's a 24-inch, 22-inch Miami Cuban. When you buy this one, you get a lobster clasp. When you buy the OG Death Row Records necklace, you get the fold-over clasp. So, just do it like that. Takes a little bit of time, but let's compare it to the XL version here that I have on, which is also available right now. This is chain's all worn out here. So the XL version, usually the one that Snoop Dogg hands out right now to his associates, and during chaining day, this was the one by Snoop Dogg. And I think also this one too, recently he was handing these ones out too. But let's compare this. A little bit, this one's a little bit bigger than this one in size. And then the smaller one right here, the baby of them all. There you have it. All three Death Row chains. You got different options here. You got the little baby John here. And you got the XL version. I think they're selling these ones as well on King Ice. And you got the 2D 90s Death Row Records version of the chain. Let me know in the comments. What is your favorite Death Row Records release? My favorite is the Dog Pound Dog Food. All Eyes on Me is pretty great too. And Necessary Roughness by the Lady of Rage. It's one of my Death Row Records favorite releases. Murder Was the Case. Above the Rim is a great soundtrack. Out of the new Death Row Records releases, Back on Death Row, loving that one. And I love Charlie Be Real, it's great. New R&B soul artist. Of course, October London, gotta check him out. He's channeling in his Marvin Gaye. And yeah, I love all my Death Row Records necklaces and Death Row chains. And this new one, I can't believe they're reselling it again, and they're putting it back into production for a limited time. And there you have it, the official Death Row Records necklaces by King Ice, approved by Uncle Snoop. Maybe not approved by Suge Knight, but he's in jail, so it doesn't matter. He could whine and cry all he wants, but this is official. Yeah, there's the actual gold one available, but who has like $30,000 to spend on an actual gold Death Row Records chain when you could have this one that's affordable? This one is like, plus the discount, I think I paid a little over $100 for this one. So you can have an official death row chain. It doesn't have to be, you know, pure gold. It can be gold, brass with gold plating like this, maybe 3 or 4 times. And you get handset VVS diamond seamless stones, I believe, or CZ stones. And you're balling, and it's not going to break your wallet. So go check out King Ice, the official home of the Death Row Records chain. Only available at a limited time. You get 3 options here. The little baby John. This one's about, I think, 160 or 100, between 160 and 180. This big boy right here was a little over 200 or 220 when I bought it several years ago. It's all worn out. It's got the bigger chain. So, yep, if you see the East Siders and some of the other members of that crew, they have the bigger one. In the music video, it was the white gold. And of course, you have the OG 2D version of the Death Row chain. Actually, we're gonna take a look at the picture over there with Tupac. I got that banner because he's wearing a Death Row chain, and we're gonna compare it and look at it and post some pics with it. So, all right, so I'm standing next to the Tupac banner. I got this banner several years ago because it shows Tupac wearing the Death Row chain. So, just like the one he has on. Similar to the one he has on. It's kind of a little faded here, but you can tell on this picture, I can tell it is a 2D version. And here you can see like the arms are a little spread apart. They're more protruding outward. Here it's not so much. You can kind of see that it says Death Row Records. Not really. But I just wanted to make a comparison. This would definitely be similar to the size of Tupac's Death Row Records chain, the one that he wore. So, just a little comparison between the one now and the one from the 90s. I think this picture was 96 or late 95 when he was signed to Death Row Records. Maybe early 96, I'm not sure. If someone could tell me in the comments. But there you have it. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. You get all the options for the Death Row Records chain, the Death Row Records necklace. You choose which one you want to wear it and be balling with. And we'll see you in the next video.